What's shaking, YouTubeites? Welcome into the Cover Price Shakers of the Week. Sorry we're a teeny bit late, but it's going to be worth it. We were working on some stuff backstage, and we're going to test it out tonight. Before we get started, though, Marty, what are you doing down there?
What am I doing down there?
No, I didn't
That's
like
what
it.
she said.
So if you had to call HR on your bingo card, go ahead.
Right out the gate, Marty, man. All right, Marty, let's start with you since you're on a roll. Say what's good to the people.
What is good to the people? Man, we have got a great show for you as always this evening. Thank you for joining us, especially when you have so many other things that you could be doing. And even if you're on the rewind, thank you, because you've got a million other things you guys could be doing. So thank you as always. This list tonight is something interesting. I can honestly say, guys, that I probably hit 2 on this list, but you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. But nevertheless, thank you for joining us as always. Great panel members as always. I'm thrilled, excited. Let's do this.
And I like the shirt, Marty. You're rocking the Lord of the Long Box.
Oh,
yeah, mine on.
By the way, get yours if you want to own one of these Lords of the Long Box shirt. Geeky Swag Shop hooked a brother up. So go down there, check out their website, get your own as well.
There you go. Lando, you're up next.
Well, unlike Marty, I'm most likely in the Offers abyss, like the majority I see you guys in the chat ending up in, and I'm part of that crew. But, guys, it was a big week, a big day. I wonder just how quick those null books are going to hit the top 10 next week. But we'll see next week. Tonight, it's about the Shakers, and I'm pumped.
Yeah, me too. It's good to see you, and I love the shirt. I was listening to Blink-182 the other day with my kids, and they were like, "This is an awesome band, Mom." I'm like, "I know."
Listen to the classics with your kids.
The classics. God, makes me feel old. Chris, say what's up.
Hey, it's Thursday. You know what that means. It's time for our Shaker Report, and I am so thrilled to be here with all of these folks. I'm jazzed. I'm excited. I'm good to go. Let's get this going.
Let's just jump right in. There you go. All right, guys. This list comes from our friends over at Cover Price. We are focusing on new high sales or the most interesting sales found on their exclusive daily shaker list. Keep in mind, this list changes several times a day, so make sure to check it out every day to review some of the hottest trending books in the market. These are in alphabetical order. What do we have for shaker number 1? Shaker
number 1, we have Boys Club number 3 by Buenaventura Press. Buenaventura Press, 2008. You know, I was born in Ventura. I should recognize Ventura when I see it. If you are unfamiliar with the Boys Club, you may recall the internet meme Pepe the Frog, one of the anthropomorphic characters created by Matt Fruey in 2005. Originally conceived as a group of misfits, the zine was published short, and that the zine was self-published short that revolved around the age-old concept of much ado about nothing. Furry's work seemingly overnight became an underground success and received both positive and negative connotations as it swiftly became one of the earliest trolled cultural icons. As far as independent books go, the 4 issues of The Boys Club continue to draw attention due to their rarity. So rare that there's only 1 copy of number 2 through 4 listed on the CGC census. This week, a raw copy of issue number 3 hit our Shakers list for an all-time high sale of $250. If you stumble across any of these Pepe and Friends books in the wild, you should pick them up because they are often mistakenly tossed aside.
Never heard of this. Have you guys ever heard of this?
I remember the issue 1 with the 4, like I think there are 4 or 3 characters on the cover that I had seen, but did I ever read this? No, absolutely not. No, and I agree with what you said. The fact that like they're mistakenly overlooked, right? I don't think anyone's gonna come across this and be like, oh yeah, you know, raw near mint, 250. No, not up tonight, because I had no idea.
Right.
I had no idea either. I mean, something like I'm curious. You know, what's going on with this? What are they seeing that we're not seeing, right? That kind of gets you to wonder.
Well, yeah. Nobody has this from what I can tell. Nobody in the chat anyways.
So this is just one of those rare meme books that people like to invest in. You see the same kind of thing with Dogecoin or Shiba coin, stuff like that, right? This internet memes, it's popular. It'll go for a while, and then it'll slowly be like an NFT, and you'll have one of one. And
True.
Interesting way to kick off the list. All right, guys. If you were just joining, this is the first shaker of the night. Boys Club number 3 from Buenaventura Press from 2008, with the top sale coming in raw near mint, $250.
Yes.
Wow.
That
Very
just
nice.
blows my mind. It's an interesting one.
Crazy.
All right, what do we got?
Madness, I say madness.
Ooh, this is cool.
Yep.
All right. So number 2, Shaker, brings you classic Popeye number 18, the Sarah Hensley variant. This is the 1-in-10 ratio, published by IDW in 2012. Created in 1929 by LZ Chrysler Seagar, Popeye the Sailor quickly became a hit and a part of American pop culture and would be featured in print and animated form for decades to come. Dell Comics began printing Popeye in 1948, and that series would go on to produce 65 issues over 14 years. In 2012, IDW and Yo Studios teamed up to bring the series back and reprint all 65 issues. The series would run for 6 years and would include various artists from across the art and comic world putting their own spin on the Popeye brand in forms of incentive variant covers. The most well-known variants for these series are the Kelly Jones variants for issue number 41 and the Len Danovich zombie Popeye cover for the final issue number 65. These 2 books have sold for hundreds on the aftermarket, and very few seem to be available for sale online. This entire series is filled with tons of incredible and diverse covers, and it appears that collectors are starting to take notice. One cover in particular is issue the Sarah Hensley 110 variant for issue number 18. This variant sold for a new time all-high sale of $100 for this week for a near-mint raw copy. The previous high was $50 in 2021. This series was not heavily ordered by any means, thus making the 1-in-10 variants even more difficult to find. If you come across these variants in any back issue bins for cheap, it may be a good idea to pick them up, considering how hard some have proven to find.
Yep.
Okay.
Wow.
I don't even know what to say. This is awesome. This is very cool. People in the chat are talking about how it's neat to kind of see Popeye back on the scene. We tested this out on Tuesday, Marty and Chris. You guys remember we brought in my 14-year-old and my 17-year-old, and they both kind of knew who Popeye was, but
Right. It's a household name, and no matter how you look at it, because somehow in some form you're going to find out about Popeye the Sailor. More so for us, growing up with Popeye and just, growing up with the animated series, seeing comic books, seeing comic strips in newspapers as well. And then, of course, we talked about this as well, Robin Williams in the live movie. So I love seeing this. And not to mention, I think we've seen this last week as well. We also had the cover, the game cover as well with Popeye and Brutus. Yeah. So we're starting to see a lot more of this.
Yeah, but that's a good point. Sorry, Chris. It's just
go ahead.
Popeye, you were talking about Laura, your kids, and briefly knowing who Popeye is, but within comics now, Popeye is back, and that's actually good in my opinion, because the younger generation might fall into this, and the story's been pretty good out the gate too. So that's also a plus. These being reprinted, I knew about the reprints. I didn't know about these ratios. This is a sick ratio.
So the Popeye IP, the property of Popeye itself, came out originally in 1925. I know there was some speculation on the last show that it was 1933, but did some digging. It was actually 1925. 99 years later, that IP goes public domain, and that's this year. I think that some of these sales are speculators, thinking that we're going to see some Popeye come out more and more because the character is now considered public domain. So it's very possible that this book, the Punch-Out book, and the other properties may have initially been kicked off as interest because of speculation. I think that you're seeing some genuine interest now because people are starting to see, oh, hey, these covers are pretty cool. You got Punch-Out video game cover. This thing looks like one of our readers is on a acid trip. I mean, there's lots of things going on, and there's zombie ones also. Yep. I think that what started off as a speculation is going to turn a little bit more organic. And as we see more Popeye coming out in the media over the next couple of years, because it is public domain, just like Winnie the Pooh, we're going to start seeing a lot more of these books pop up.
Like the first appearance of Popeye in comic books, I'm surprised we're not seeing that start to trickle through.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think he first appeared in comic strips. So I would need to do some research to see when he actually first appeared in comics. But I bet our chat will beat us to it because they have access to Cover Prize.
Absolutely.
And Cover Prize will tell that to us.
Well, there you go, guys. Awesome. It's very cool. This is a nice list. I told you guys when you joined that it's going to be some of you in the zeros, probably all of you, but it's interesting. There's a lot of diversity going on with this list. Second shaker was classic Popeye number 18, the Sarah Hensley variant 1 in 10 from IDW back in 2012, with a top sale for a raw near mint coming in at $100. Booyah. All right. Lando's excited. Oh, no, wait. This is the one you're excited about.
Yeah, later.
Forget that. That's later. But Lando, you're up.
All right, so for Shaker number 3, we have Funny Animals number 1 by Apex Novelties in 1972. Now, while this issue may not be widely known to seasoned collectors and fans of groundbreaking graphic novels, it's a true historical gem. It features the first appearance of Mouse, Art Spiegelman's powerful Pulitzer Prize-winning story character Mouse, tells the gripping account of Spiegelman's father's experiences as a Polish Jew and Holocaust survivor. While Mouse itself wasn't serialized until later, from 1980 to 1991, with its first chapter being showcased in Raw issue number 2, it made its initial appearance in this quirky anthology comic, securing it as a major key in comic history. Recently, this book made headlines with a new all-time high sale of $1,136 for a CGC 9/8 copy. This sale is particularly impressive considering the rarity of high-grade copies in the market. Despite having 109 entries on the CGC census, only 11 are graded at 9.8, and even more shockingly, guys, there is a single 9.9 in existence of this book. The recent 9/8 sale is the only one on record, with the closest comparable being a CGC 9/4 that fetched $950 back in 2022. What makes this comic so valuable is not just its scarcity, but its undeniable significance in the world of graphic literature. Mouse is more than a comic, it's a landmark, work that forever changed how comics could be used to tell profound, true stories. As more collectors realize its importance, the value of this book will likely continue to climb, and higher grade copies like this 9/8 could see even more record-breaking sales in the future. Now, guys, I don't know if you had the opportunity to read Mouse. Mouse was incredible. The way they had the cat and mouse dynamic telling the story and those experiences was just incredible.
I've never heard of this. Like, this is like blowing my mind. I have no clue.
Mouse appeared on the top 10 list back on the Lord Show a couple years ago because this was during COVID and people didn't have anything better to do with their time, and they banned the Mouse comic from schools. And instantly, the Mouse comic just shot up in value. They were selling for hundreds of dollars all of a sudden because they were being pulled out of libraries. So the first appearance of that character.
Yeah. I love this cover. It's hilarious, man. You gotta love it. Come on. You got some thick chickenness going on, right? And you got those guys looking at a drumstick. Come on. You gotta admit, this is hilarious, right?
Yeah,
it's pretty crazy. People know what this is. Like, I know the Mouse one. I remember when that whole thing happened. there were a lot of opinions about that, but I didn't know. Like, I would never in a million years have known this was the first appearance. It blows my mind.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, this is this cover is one of those classic underground, just slightly sexual toned covers that was very popular in the late 60s and early 70s.
Is Mouse still banned? Is that still banned, or did they let it come back? I feel
in
like
Russia it's banned.
Yeah, it's right in Russia. It's banned because it talks about the Holocaust, and a lot of print media that talks about the Holocaust is banned in Russia. But they are. I think it varies from state to state. There's a large outcry, and everybody in the comic world kind of laughed at how silly it was, and then that was kind of the last anybody heard about it.
Yeah. Well, so far, the entire chat is 0 for 3.
We're with you. We're with you.
Well, this next one might be your chance.
Don't fret. Don't fret. We got some ones coming up.
Yeah, it could still happen. All right, we had Funny Animals #1 from Apex Novelties back in 1972 with a top sale for SCGC 9.8 coming in at $1,136. What do we have next?
How about a 2019 book, just to get everybody on the list? At least make it possible. Here we have sticker number 4, Harley Quinn Poison Ivy #1, the Shannon Maher cover, the Comic Mint, Mr. Shannon Maher. Comic Mint New York Comic-Con exclusive variant 2019. With the overwhelming number of variants that flood the market every year, it's hard to tell what books will drop, hold, or gain value at the moment. Sometimes, though, you will find variants that just have the it factor. And this week, one of them has graced our Shaker Report with a massive pop in price. This week, we have a graded 9.8 copy of this Harley Quinn Poison Ivy #1 variant, hitting an all-time high of $408. This issue was released in 2019 at the New York City Comic-Con, exclusive, featuring the always impressive cover artwork of Shannon Maher, as I've been corrected about 5 times. Thank you.
He's not salty. He's
and cool. This new all-time high eclipses the previous of any sale for any grade in any platform. In 2020, a 9.9 sold for $250, which at that time was a 60% increase in a lesser grade. Here we have that almost doubled in a 0.1 lower. As to why the jump from behind, Harley and Ivy's popularity makes them a force for the resale market. And this could be somewhat to the boosted news of the upcoming appearance of the Lady Gaga portrayal of Harley Quinn, featured in the upcoming Joker Folie et Deux. One Lando. It's got 4 words in it. Fans and collectors alike can still find raw copies of this book in the $50 range. So if you're into Harley or Ivy or Maher's insanely great covers, this book has held value since its release and is now starting to rise. Man, this is a beautiful cover.
Hell yeah.
Yes, yes, and yes to all 3 of those. I can't remember if I have this book or not because I am a fan of Harley Quinn, so I tried to always collect her covers, and I'm a huge fan of Shannon. And let me tell you a little bit about Shan. Shan, that's what I call him because, we're down like that. And me and Shan, we were hanging out the other day, and I was just telling how great of a cover artist he is. But, I told him instead of the red, but he went with me. There we go.
They're tight. They're like this, him and Shannon.
We're like this. We're down like 4 flat tires, folks.
Wow. I'm totally using that from now on. But yeah, dude, Shannon Maher is incredible. I love his art. I love his covers. One thing he does do relatively well. I know we give a lot of credit to artists like Scott Campbell, but like the way he portrays female characters on books it's up there in my opinion with names alike. So there's that. Ironically, there's the King in Black one. I don't know if you guys remember that one, but with Null on the cover, that one's really nice. But yeah, Joker Folie à Deux. I don't know, man. I don't know, guys. I don't want to get into that chat, but
Okay.
But yeah.
And we're looking at the Joker for pretty much in this year 2, year 3 time frame from the last Batman leading off. So just kind of let you know that. And also there is a spin-off, I believe, on Max, the Penguin as well.
Oh, dude, I can't wait.
Yeah, coming up. So look out for that as well. So a lot of good stuff coming in with DC. That's nice to see because you don't see a lot of that in DC. You don't see a lot of DC on the board as well. So it's nice coming from that. I'm a huge DC fan, so it's nice to see.
Another thing to add to the DC stuff, not only that it's nice to see DC, but comic exclusives, majority can be a miss. Some tend to hit, and to see exclusives get this type of love, I enjoy seeing that because I think it's well deserved. I remember even like when Bird City, remember the 8 billion genies? That was amazing. You know what I mean?
Oh, man.
So, yeah, dude. Like those pop, man, on the secondary market. So you never know which one might hit. And I couldn't agree more with what you guys said.
Chris, anything to add?
Yeah, you could say that this cover is dripping with the it factor.
Yep.
That's all I got.
Wow. All right. That was good. That's all we needed. Harley Quinn Poison Ivy #1, the Shannon Mare, the Comic Mint NYCC exclusive variants. Hopefully you guys are going to NYCC this year. Bird City will be there, and we haven't shown our cover yet, but yeah. It is DC.
Ooh, really? Interesting. Dropping a little crumb here, aren't we?
Yeah, just a little bit.
I like it.
Yeah. It's DC. I'll just say that. Top sale, the CGC 9.8 coming in at $408. Okay, let's see. Oh, no, wait. Hold on. Wait, did you take it out, Chris?
No.
I thought it was 5.
I think it's here it is. Okay, so I have a bonus read, folks. Check this out. We are presenting the Shakers comic featuring your favorites, Laura, Marty, Lando, and myself in classic Golden Age comic book style. Just like the comic market, the Shaker Show has been on an incredible run with a 4-month growth trend of 90%. That's right, surpassing even the value of slightly used Kia. It's a car when you have the hottest comic show in sights and around. If you are enjoying this show, make sure to smash that like button. It helps out more than you know. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss a moment of the Shakers Report action. And hey, we want to hear from you. So drop a comment down below and let us know which cover is your favorite cover tonight. Because we do this show weekly for free for you.
Yeah, I think I need to.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to shake.
All right. So the read was done by AI. The artwork was done by AI. And thank you so much to the Cover Price team for sending me all the graphics so I could put together a slide that looks official. And hey, we may pull this up from time to time.
I like it, man. Good job, man. Good job. I like it.
I don't even know what to say. When they first showed me this backstage, I thought this was actually a bonus book. It took me a second to kind of like connect that this was us.
Hey, Laura, I don't know if you noticed, but you are a blonde in a red dress.
That's right. That's right.
I have an obsession with those, so I'll take it.
I'm more concerned about the other 3, to be honest with you. Laura's good, but I don't know.
Look, Chris made an AI version of our team.
Do you know how hard it is to get an AI to generate 4 people with 4 different descriptions and not look all messed up with like extra limbs and stuff? This took some time.
You did very well, man. You did very well. I think you did an outstanding job on this one.
Yeah, I said it's solid. He's like, yeah, that's solid. I can sell that.
Are we printing that?
No, we're not printing it. This is just for
We can do it. Bird City exclusive. You heard it here first. The Shakers 10-cent cover.
You get this, a Bird City exclusive, and we will sign this bad boy for you.
I think I heard disappointment in Anthony's voice. Like, are we printing that?
He's being serious. I think he'll do it. Okay.
Yeah.
Do it.
Awesome.
Do it.
We all look like Shark Tank.
Y'all look like Shark Tank. Yes.
But Marty's definitely pulling that Kevin O'Leary vibe there in the background.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's kind of cool, right? Anyways, let's keep going. What do we have next?
All right. So I'm guessing this is me, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, number 5 Shaker brings you Marvel Mystery Comics number 13, published by Marvel in 1940. Marvel Mystery Comics number 13 features the first Golden Age Vision, Arcus. Did I say that right? Arcus. Would
Yeah.
it be Arcus, an alien law enforcement officer from a dimension called Smoke World, contacted by accident by scientist Markham Erickson. He accepted his invitation to fight crime on Earth and does so for several years in 1940s. Vision's power include flying, generating ice and extreme cold, generating illusory oh man,
Great. You're doing great. Keep going.
illusory images of himself and teleporting via smoke. Marvel Mystery Comics as series ran in the 1930s and 40s and was the predecessor to Marvel Timely Comics. Marvel Mystery Comics is considered one of the most important superhero comic book series, issue number 1 through number 92, and is highly desirable amongst Golden Age comic book collectors. Even low-grade comics of issues from the series demand a premium when they come up for sale. Issues number 13 features fabulous cover art by Reverend Golden Age artist Alex Schomburg and tells Vision's origin story. This past week, we saw a record CGC 1.8 sale of this issue for $3,240. There it is. Classic Golden Age 1940, bright reds, yellow. You gotta love it. I mean, what can you say? So vibrant. I mean, can you imagine this in a 9.8?
Oh, dude.
No.
It would
that would be so good. It would be gorgeous.
In a 9.8, it would look like a facsimile. But
Right.
yeah, what I like about this is that, like, even on the side, you were talking about Vision, and the character, as you can see at the top, looking more alien-like than the Vision we know, right? And you can see he's got the same design, more or less, like with the cape and all of that stuff. So I think it's cool. And you have him there paired with Submariner. He's got Angel there. The cover looks amazing. In fact, I want to go to read this now that I know this. So this is real cool.
Yeah, good luck finding it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Chris, you're muted. Come back.
Chris, you are muted.
The cover is gorgeous. The cover is beautiful. I have a feeling that the story inside probably did not age very well.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, this is 1940 that we're talking about. It's probably hits all the wrong notes.
As it should, though. I mean, if you're going to a 1940s book looking for it to be like politically correct,
that was not the time frame then, right? Their rendition of characters. Asian characters, black characters, European characters. I mean, it was very, very different time back then.
I mean, they're being so unfair to Atlanteans. Look at Submariner's giant forehead. I mean,
it's not even nice. So mean.
Yeah, this is very cool. All right, there you go. Again, nobody made the board on this one, but I'm not surprised by that. Marvel Mysteries Comics number 13 from 1940. This is some time machine shit, as Tipo would say.
Yeah.
A top sale.
0.8. That's a 1.8, which means it may or may not have the cover. I mean, come on.
I was actually just going to ask that. Once it loses the cover, I thought it had to. It could still be a 1.8. I thought it had to be a 1.5. Was it that had no cover? Then below.
I'm not exactly sure on that one. I'm not the.
Somebody said it on
when it comes.
show and I forget.
Well, if it's sold recently, we can look it up. Marty, if you help me remember, we can look it up when I show the Shakers page. We can look this up and find it on eBay to see what the picture of the item was.
Yeah,
sounds
let's
good.
Do that. Now I'm curious.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Okay, now, this is the one that Lando was super excited about. He's like, this has to be me. I have to do this one. So here we go.
I want to let out the big Mortal Kombat, but I can't. My kids are sleeping. But guys, get it.
No, that's the wrong song. Wrong theme. Wrong theme.
Impossible.
That was Mission Impossible. Totally wrong theme.
We'll give it to you.
Oh, unacceptable, Marty. No.
But all right, guys.
I don't know how I fell to that, but anyways, I digress.
I love it. Don't ever change. But Shaker number 6, guys, Mortal Kombat Deception number 1 by Wham Entertainment, 2004. Now, Mortal Kombat Deception was released in 2004 for the PlayStation 2 and Xbox consoles. The game was the 6th installment in the Mortal Kombat franchise. The release was highly anticipated, and various promo items accompanied the game's October release. One such promo item was the Mortal Kombat Deception comic book. This comic was smaller than a traditional comic, 8 inches, and was available only in giveaways, events, and certain special editions.
That's what
it
she
was
said.
not sold separately. The limited amount of available copies has made this item very sought after by Mortal Kombat collectors 20 years later. This past week saw a new all-time high sale when a near mint raw copy sold for $129, besting the previous high set in 2023, which was $117. This book doesn't pop up often and doesn't seem to sit very long when it does. Now, of course, I played the hell out of this game. I was one of those that was anticipating Mortal Kombat Deception. Loved the character choices, but does it hold the test of time? Nah, I went back to play this. I went back to play this, I would say months ago, because I still have all of my consoles. And yeah, some characters were cool there. I enjoyed the zombie-esque Liu Kang. There was Rico. I enjoyed the game, but does it stand the test of time? No. Having played the most latest ones and the classics, I think the most latest.
To hear you say that. I am shocked, Lando.
Yeah, it didn't. Yeah. It didn't. There's better ones. But yeah, no, it's just cool to see this because, again, I didn't even know these were given away and that they're limited editions. And, you know, being a video game comic collector, this is definitely one that when I saw it on the list, I'm like, oh, man, what are you guys doing to me? You're making me spend money. I'm going to go out and look for one.
Yeah, so the Mortal Kombat series in the early 2000s released Mortal Kombat Sub-Zero, which deviated from the fighting style game, and it went to kind of like a side-scroll Final Fight beat-em-up style. And it was terrible. It was panned widely. So the I want to say Midway was desperate to get back into the fighting franchise the right way, so they did a lot of press, a lot of attention, and Deception is one of the games that came out afterwards to try to get the franchise back on track, but it never quite recovered from jumping the shark.
Yeah, I don't think Chris put enough emphasis on how bad that Sub-Zero game was. It was hot garbage, pure garbage.
I'd say that it was Sub-Zero.
Wow.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
Listen, I am in single dad mode right now because my wife's on vacation with some friends in Yellowstone, and I'm total dad mode right now for the next couple of days. So the dad jokes are just going to be coming. I'm sorry.
That's okay. We forgive you. All right. Well, there you go. You guys heard it from Lando there. Somebody in the chat said that they bet you played as Sonya.
I did. Sonya Blade's the best.
That's awesome. I love our chat. Mortal Kombat Deception number 1 from Wham Entertainment back in 2024 with a raw near mint coming in at $129.
Lando, stop swipe kicking me, Lando. Stop doing the trip kick.
Whoopsie.
What do we have for Shaker number 7? For those of you in the chat that would think this is 7, this is 7.
Shaker, and check this out. Of course, it's not a Shaker's list without Dave Stevens coming up. So if you have that on your bingo card, check that box. Rocketeer Adventures number 4. Dave Stevens black and white retailer incentive variant, a 1 of 25 IDW 2011. Dave Stevens has had his work featured many times on our show. Collectors can't seem to get enough of his artwork. Recently, a 1 in 25 retailer incentive variant of the Rocketeer Adventures had a big sale. The cover features the Rocketeer and Betty Page, two of the greats. If you're not aware, Betty Page was a favorite of Dave Stevens, and really, who is she not a favorite of? She is a well-known pinup model, and for many years, seemingly disappeared from the public eye. Dave Stevens rediscovered Page, and they became good friends in real life. Stevens even assisted Page in negotiations when the publishers started to use her likeness and image. Since then, Betty Page has become a feminist icon and very well loved in many subcultures. It's no wonder that a harder to find incentive cover featuring both Betty Page and Dave Stevens' original character, the Rocketeer, would have such a massive sale. There are two versions of this hidden Rocketeer gem from 1982, a color version and a black and white sketch cover. Recently, a CGC 9.8 of the black and white variant for this book from 2011, the IDW re-release, if you will, sold for $400.
Beautiful, classic Dave Stevens cover. I mean, what more can you say about it? Absolutely gorgeous. I don't know if I could drop that amount of money, but I don't know.
Okay, what are your thoughts though, Marty, on this being I don't know how to say that name or that word, posthumous?
Posthumous. Posthumous. That means after
I know
they
what
die.
it means. I just can't say it. I know what it means.
Posthumous.
Anyway, what do you think of it being that?
Well,
retailer?
I mean, they do it with Michael Turner, right? They do with so many other great artists. So I have no qualms about it whatsoever.
Yeah.
Lando.
Go ahead, Lando. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say the same. In fact, I actually like this idea of that, the two crossing over and stuff like that. The backstory behind that on how they became real life friends and he helped out with the marketing is really cool. With the publishers and etc. So again, another incentive I had no idea existed, but yeah, do I care about that? No, I don't. I think it's cool.
So this is pretty cool. If you guys like Dave Stevens and you want to collect the first appearance of the Rocketeer, you can actually pick it up for pretty cheap. It's a Star Slayer #2 by Pacific First. You can usually pick it up for about $20. And while it's not a cover Dave Stevens, it is the first appearance of the Rocketeer and Dave Stevens' work on the Rocketeer. Yeah. It's in the last section of the book. So
I love
that. That is good to know. Really good to know.
What about you, Laura? What do you feel about that?
I'm okay with it just because I don't think otherwise when would we ever see this artwork? I think a lot of this stuff gets released later just because they have like a pile of it. Same with Michael Turner, actually. Whoever owns the right to all the Turner stuff has so much of his art that we've never seen. Yeah. So if this is a way for it to get released to the public, then I'm all right with it.
Exactly. That's why I pretty much don't care. I'm okay with it.
I don't.
Well said, Laura. Well said, Laura.
Thanks. All right, moving on. Oh wait, Rocketeer Adventures #4, Dave Stevens black and white retailer incentive variant. This is the 1 in 25, not 1 of 25, but a 1 in 25 from 2011 with a top sale for a CGC 9.8 coming in at $400. It's a massive sale. I think I would probably try to find this raw if I could and then slab it. All right, what do we have next?
Beautiful. All right, number 8 Shaker brings you Tribe #2 Blue, limited to 200. Published by Access Comics in 1993. Some may remember Tribe from the 90s and how much it had fans hyped. Initially launched with Image's second wave of titles, it quickly sold out 1 million copies, becoming the highest selling comic from African-American creator ever. Unfortunately, Tribe struggled due to the issues plaguing Image during that time and the lack of funding. It would maintain an almost mythical level of love from the wider comic community, occasionally receiving injections of excitement over the years. However, in early 2024, Tribe was announced as looking to make a comeback. Down the line, creators Larry Stroman and Todd Johnson released an Instagram reel commenting on 2 of the rarest Tribe comics. One of these was this book, Tribe Number 2, Cobalt Blue, which was confirmed to have been limited to 200 copies that got fans of the series searching, and recently one secured a copy. Last week, a very fine raw copy hit the market and sold for a whopping $250, the highest grade in our database. The previous high sale was for $175 for a reported no-grade raw copy, and that's about it. This book hardly ever changes hands, but when it does, it can easily fetch a substantial sum. It's one of those rare books that avid collectors desperately want, as they could have essentially the same book. The regular cover for under $5. Heck, it's still available on the creator's website. But with the hype returning for Tribe, fans are keeping their eyes peeled for this rare book and paying up big time when they find it. Yeah.
What is this? Like, I don't even, again, I feel like I've been saying this all night. What is this? I've never seen it.
So this is one of those books that early 90s, there were a lot of new comic companies kind of popping their heads up here and there, using various publishers like Malibu and Image at the time. And this is one of them. There were a couple Johnson Stroman books. Tribe was one of their more well-known ones, but I mean, it just didn't do very well, and so it didn't survive. And you see Tribe books in the dollar bins all the time. I bet you that you could probably find some of these blue limited ones in the dollar bins at the same rate that you see those, like, what's that one book that's got like 5, it doesn't have numbers, it has colors.
There's no way in hell you're going to find this book. It's limited to 200.
Yeah, and I want to answer. I want to answer one of the questions in the chat. Somebody was asking about the census, so I was just checking while you guys were having the discussion, and I see like just the regular cover. There's 3 in all grades on the census, and when we get to the cover right here, there's 1, and it is
Wow.
It's a 9.0. Just to give you an idea.
Well, nobody's slabbing this book because the IP, didn't go anywhere. The only reason why this is getting attention now is because the creators who have some popularity and fan base now, years later, are saying, hey, they're going to revive this old character that they have.
Exactly.
It's interesting. I honestly, I remember Tribe coming out, and it was big with the hip hop time frame as well in the 90s, the early 90s. So this was a pretty sought after book early on. Limited to 200 now. Thinking that, I don't know if this book has survived anything as far as being in any type of backbin long boxes or anything like that, because if anybody has it, I think they're probably going to hang on to it a little bit, being that these are limited. And so I don't think we're going to see this change hands very often.
But how many of these exist and the people who own them don't know what they have?
Yeah, that I can totally agree with and imagine. And just to give you an idea, like a raw VF copy sold for $250. So like Marty said, when it does change hands, even in such condition, look at the sale.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in like 3rd grade when this thing came out.
Are you serious? Really?
Yeah, I was in 1st grade in 91, so 93 I'd be in 3rd grade.
I was 4. So
you're 4 years old.
I was 4 years
Chris, you want to care to tell what you did in 1993?
93, freshman year of high school.
Freshman year of high school. Wow. I was in my 2nd year in the military, in the Army at that time.
Wow.
Yeah.
You look good, Marty. You look really good. Not bad. Not bad.
Thank you.
All right, Tribe number 2, the blue, limited to 200 from Axis Comics back in 1993, with a raw, very fine, coming at $250. Lando, you're next, right?
I am next.
Because I am so excited about this book.
I almost feel bad having to go through this, Laura, because I feel like this is a book that you would love to talk about. But Vampirella, Issue 3, Jenny Frizen. Cover A, guys. Dynamite Entertainment 2014. Now, Jenny Frizen has been like clockwork these days, dropping a cover or two every month, but her earlier work on titles such as Hack Slash, Red Sonja, and Vampirella still holds up to her newer work. Her work on Red Sonja was so good that Dynamite reprinted her 2013 covers a decade later and called them Modern Icon Variants. Red Sonja and Vampirella from the mid 2000s have limited Virgin covers, and the Vampirella Virgin for issue number 3 sold for $455 earlier this year. With so many Vampirella covers constantly being produced, many of these fall through the cracks, never being heard from after their initial release. But Frizen's artwork has proven otherwise, as this cover A for number 3 touched a record high for $325 for a graded 9.8 this week. It doesn't appear that Frizen's constant work has diluted her interest in her fan base just yet. So keep looking for those older works and you may be rewarded. Laura, I'm expecting you to pull this out of your collection right now.
I actually do. I have the trade of this. I do not have the Virgin because like you just said, like it's extremely expensive to get a hold of the version of this. But James beat me to it. Fun fact, there's also a cover of the Vampirella Blood Invasion novel, and this is the same image. So if you can get a hold of that too, that's kind of cool. Absolutely stunning. I don't have to tell you guys how many times over and over. I love her work. This is one of my favorites. It's not my favorite. My favorite's Astonishing Ant-Man, but this is one of my favorites for her. And I just think it's perfect. It reminds me of
there was a point of time, Laura, and that I was buying up every Frizen cover I could find. You know, I was just I never truly stopped, but it was almost like an obsession, if you will, that I was trying to find I was just so enthralled with her artwork that I just had to have it. So, you know, just like Shannon Mayer, just like many other great artists, but I just remember her specifically because I really loved her art style. And so I was just collecting every cover I could. Now, speaking about Vampirella, this character is an underrated character, of course. Probably what would you consider a class B sort of a character, I guess.
Probably,
but is well known. And believe it or not, even her first appearance in Vampirella #1 by Warren Publishing, that fetches a pretty good sum of money, you know. So this character is not to be overlooked, though not really a big popular character like you'd see in, you know, Marvel or DC characters such as that. This character has seemed to stand the test of time for a long time. This character, the Vampirella books, anytime there's a Vampirella series that comes out, and they're typically very limited series, and I think also this, there's a series that just kind of keeps going, I think the main series.
Yeah. But
they're always constant multiple variants. There's variants after variants after variants after variants of this. And that's also with the Red Sonja ones too. If you're talking about variants, there's so many multiple variants. It's no wonder some of these variants fall off just fall down the crack. You don't know because who's to speculate which cover to get? You know, it's the cover that resonates most with you at this point, right? Yeah. Well, good Lord. Yeah. And I know I was a little long-winded with that, but that was just kind of because I'm a Vampirella collector as well as a Red Sonja collector. So this goes way back for me.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Chris?
I don't have much to add. I mean, Marty said enough for everyone.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, I appreciate the support there.
You really did nail it. You nailed it.
Jenny Frizen is an excellent artist, especially when she's not being tackled in the bathroom by Laura. And
one time.
One time is too many. It's always impressive to see her artwork, and it's always good to see her artwork show up on this list. So I'm happy for it.
All right, really quickly, I want to point out this comment right here. Chad K was saying that the death cover is fantastic, but his second favorite is Beauty. If you guys have not read Beauty, first of all, I think that has like adaptation written all over it. And I will agree with Chad, if you can get a hold of her beauty cover, it's phenomenal. I have 2 or 3 of them in the other room. They're all graded though. But that's a really, really good cover. And I think that would be a good long-term hold if you are a Frozen fan to find that. And Into the Woods would be another one I would recommend. Just some tidbits.
Into the Woods, yes.
Yeah, if you're trying to spec on Jenny Frozen stuff. And Voltron, to answer your question, I do have it. I do love it. But Astonishing Ant-Man with Psylocke just hits different for me. So yeah. It's not Voltron. It's not my all-time favorite, but I do love it. All right. Anyway, Vampirella, number 3, Jenny Frozen variant from Dynamite Entertainment. Oh, 2014.
That's your girl crush.
That's my girl. Yeah, she's so nice too. I really like her. She's great. Anyway, yeah, 9.8, good. 325. Last Shaker of the Night. Damn, this went fast.
Yeah, last Shaker of the Night. But hey, folks, stick around because we're going to pull up the Cover Price website and we're going to look what's shaking and even look at a few new features that Cover Price added. For Shaker number 10, we have X-Files Season 10, number 1, Joe Corone, the retailer incentive cover, IDW 2013. Taking elements of TV shows like The Twilight Zone and Tales from the Dark Side, the debut of X-Files in 2002 captured... Wait a minute. No, it had to come out.
It didn't come out then. It came out in 1996.
Right? All right.
It was
the debut
1998. I'm sorry. It was 19. It came out in 1998 to 2002.
Right. Okay. The debut of X-Files captured the imaginations of the whole generation of Americans. Following the FBI investigators Dana Scully and her oddball partner Fox Mulder, the series featured a wide range of cryptids, ghosts, mutants, and aliens the pair would have to investigate week to week. Aside from the irresistibly creepy soundtrack, several movies and comic book series, the X-Files also produced one of the most recognizable pieces of media and pop culture from the 1990s in Mulder's I Want to Believe poster, featured in prominence on the walls of Mulder's office. During the introduction of the show and the odd scenes throughout the series, the poster became a calling card for the show and its fan base. Although the original series ran from the late 90s to the early 2000s, the show increased in popularity, and which led to production of comics. And those comics featured in Topps and IDW. This comic is season 10, and there was a season 11 later on. Season 10 was produced in 2013, while the show's seasons were still in the works. IDW's season 10 series was meant to supplement the TV shows turned after the revival was announced. This book has been a ghost in terms of recent sales, averaging $50 for raw copies for the last 2 years. On Wednesday, a graded 9.6 of this book sold for $400, marking a new record high.
Okay, I do not believe that this was going just for $50 for a raw. Let me tell you why. Because this has been on my list since I think 2015. I've been searching this book, and every time I went to go on eBay or any other platform, this was going for hundreds of dollars. Okay, this is a huge book to get then, and I'm glad to see it's coming out now. X-Files originally, I believe, came out in 1993 and went all the way down to 2002. Huge fan, watched it religiously myself, and I see some of the chat members did as well. I love this series. Dana Scully, Fox Mulder. I had a pleasure of actually meeting Dana Scully at one of the conventions one time. I got a couple autographs, pictures taken with her. Nevertheless, I'm reminiscing. So don't throw that in there yet, Laura. But
I was about to.
But there was, I believe, there was after the 10 seasons, there was also a couple movies made of it as well. Comic book series, but there was also a spin-off as well called The Smoking Gun, and that was a fun series. What I really enjoyed about the X-Files, that they could have a few episodes that were just serious, which focused on the conspiracy that entailed everything. It's just a huge conspiracy, but then they would have these very comedic ones, and you get so enthralled in with the characters, you almost develop a relationship with Fox and Scully, because and you're just hoping the best for them, if you will. But Absolutely love that show. I know I'm
What
getting
was
long-winded
Scully
again.
like? Tell me about it. What was Scully like?
Scully was the skeptic,
No, when you met
right?
her.
Oh, very friendly lady. Gillian Anderson, wonderful, wonderful person.
Oh,
There
yeah.
it is.
I love it. You baited me on that one, didn't you?
Marty, I've never seen a single episode of this.
What? Yeah, really? I actually still own all the DVDs to this because when I was collecting.
DVDs.
Oh my God, yes, I have all 10 seasons plus the
Hell yeah.
spin-off series and plus the movies of this. So huge fan of X-Files.
Never seen
Yeah,
it. I've seen Blue Book, which is fantastic, but I've never seen this.
I heard you guys say that it captured the imagination of generations of Americans, but Canadians too, guys, because I grew up watching this. My parents would watch it all the time, and I absolutely fell in love with it, even as a kid. Back then,
Yeah,
I
but
didn't.
Lando, do Canadians even have aliens? Have you guys ever had a UFO in Canada?
This was actually filmed.
We are
It was
the
filmed in
aliens.
Canada. It was. I believe majority of it was filmed in Canada,
No, I mean
right?
like a real fire in the sky type thing.
Like I said, we
Yeah,
probably are the
matter of
aliens.
Canada is one of the areas with the highest UFO sighting populations around that area too.
Good, okay.
So the
Less and less reported.
Okay, well, I didn't know that much. Now I'm a bit concerned, guys. But back to the show, I actually really enjoyed this growing up, and like this variant, exactly what Marty was saying, is not a cheap one, and it's not easy to come across. And when you do see such sales, look at that CGC 96 at 400. Marty, I hope you get one. Like the passion
I hope so, brother.
Yeah.
that was a lot of passion for this book. So
Hey, Marty,
Yeah.
Marty, do you have the Topps X-Files series?
I do too. I have that as well. So
There were a number of wacky variants with the number ones on that as well.
yeah, there was great series though, and they're great because they fill holes in. The comic books typically fills holes in from the TV series as well. So it kind of almost stays with canon, if you will.
Yeah, unfortunately, X-Files was one of those TV shows that was probably on air a little bit longer than it should have been, because
How dare you?
Sorry,
Laura,
but,
I'm out of here.
when you're
Should I mute him? Should I mute him?
no, let the fight happen. Drop gloves like real Canadians. That's right. Hockey
Right.
loses.
How dare you? Fist up.
You can't tell me that 7 and 8, season 7 and 8, they were like looking for Elvis and stuff like that. I mean, come on, man, you're just jumping the shark.
How dare you? I considered you a friend, a
Brother.
confidant, and a
You offended
pal,
Marty. How
but
do you offend
nevermore do you shall speak to me. Off with his head.
Oh,
There you go. The X-Files Season 10, number 1, the Joe Caroni retailer incentive cover from IDW back in 2013 with a CGC 9.6 coming in at $400. Now, before you guys take off for the night, Chris, want to see what's shaking?
yeah, let's see what's shaking. Okay, check this out. Let me just adjust this so that we can see a little bit more of the page. Boom, there we go. Okay, so one of the cool features that I saw that they added, let's see here.
They added something else. Cover Price is always adding stuff.
Yeah,
I like that though. They're always trying to improve their site. So I love it.
Not just like, oh my god, I just saw a book there that I've been hunting for the longest time.
What's
But
that? What's that?
It's actually the continue going up.
Up. Okay.
Sorry. No, it was down. My apologies. There was it was a WWE. There it is, Bray Wyatt.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So these are my want lists. So I don't know if you guys know this, but if you want books put on your want list, it'll show up on the front page. So you can always go there and just quickly see it. You can see yo-yo cover. I'm a big fan of wrestling covers because I like pro wrestling. Lando and I like to reminisce about that quite a bit. And this is my favorite cover of all time, the original. So I always look out for the homages of this right here. But let's go back up. This is what I wanted to talk about, the 2 years later. So every once in a while, Cover Price likes to do these 2 years later reports. I remember when they did one back in 2022, and it made me really sad because 2020 is when all the prices were really high. But this is this talks about 2 years later. So 2 years ago, right, on the top 10 list was Iron Man number 219, and it has dropped in value. And we can see that this was originally shot up when they started talking about the casting of the Thunderbolts. So these are really interesting reads to figure out why books went up originally, where they were and where they are now. As you can see, most of the things that were popular back in 2022 were tied to the MCU Disney Plus series and the Thunderbolts announcements, and a lot of them has dropped quite a bit.
Yeah, and I'm happy you bring this up, Chris, because looking at these sales, okay, from back then to today, those that were tied to the MCU or speculated on, you can see the drop in time, right? So you go back 2 years ago, at its peak, you had the Bloodstone book right there. You had, obviously, Truth. You had other things. Those were at the time where we were getting these characters in the MCU. And now, prime example, today we got null news. Hang tight is all I'm going to tell everybody.
Yeah.
Hang tight, guys.
But I will say this, though, that this is kind of where we need to go back to the advice of TiVo. Read the tea leaves, right? You guys are getting these reports showing you the spikes and then the drop-offs. If your book spikes and it's a speculation spike, you might want to sell it because if you hold on to it, you could be losing money. Now, that said, yeah, like Dazzler. Here's a good example that jumped up, right? Man-Thing number 1, right? This has doubled in price since 2 years ago for a graded 9.6. And let's see, this is, talking about the whole Star Wars stuff. Here's an interesting one with the Avengers. This is doubled as a raw, but it's slightly slipped as a graded copy. So these are some of the new features that Cover Price likes to put up every now and then. I love seeing this stuff, but it's Shakers Thursday, so let's see what's shaking, right?
Yes.
Shake, Sonora.
Love it.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Laura gets it. Laura gets it.
Hold on. I see a top sale for Zelda. I need to know what's happening.
All right, let's take that look at that top sale. So we had a top sale for Zelda. You guys can see that right there with the green logo right there. It says green little icon, the top $sign. Let me just right there. So that tells you that this on the Shakers list is reporting a top sale. And let's go ahead and pull it up and look at the data.
Yes.
So this is the first appearance of, I'm going to probably say Link and Zelda from The Legend of Zelda. Obviously, this is a very rare book from Acclaim or Valiant in 1990. These books were slightly larger than the regular books in 1990. They're just a little bit wider, almost Golden Age in size, which made it very hard to keep in good condition, especially when you have it jammed in your short box with all of your modern comics. So to see a 9.8 of this sell for $2,150 is
good Lord.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I just want to put it out there though. This is not Link's first appearance. It's actually Nintendo Comics System sneak peek, the yellow cover with Super Mario.
Okay.
Yeah, but
nice.
yeah, there's that, and it's actually there's something about the Valiant logo as well that's tied to this book. I don't know if you're aware of that, but this is actually the first emblem.
Oh, wow. That's very cool. So
does
this
Link have the same hairstyle as me, Lando?
I mean,
Oh, damn. You know what? Forget it.
no.
Oh my God, she went.
It's not going to be on camera anymore.
So, we do, guys. I do want to put it out there. There's a Halloween episode that's going to take place. We actually go live October 31st. So, hey, Laura, if you're game to be Link, I'll be Zelda. Let's do it.
Oh, God.
That is right. We are doing a Halloween show, aren't we?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
A bearded Zelda. Let's see it, Lando.
Damn. All right.
Okay, so we can see the high sales for this book. Oh, we're so derailed. Let's go back. Here's an interesting one. DC Superstars Magic. Is this the first Zatanna? It can't be. It doesn't have.
It's not the first. It's a really nice cover, though.
It's a really cool cover. Look at that. That is awesome.
Abracadabra. Beautiful cover. Yeah.
Yeah. So the 9.8 of this sold for $2,225, which is quite a large number. Even the raws for $99. That's pretty darn good.
I have that, but mine's probably like a 7.
Okay.
Do you really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you're sitting on a dinner at Panda Express if you ever want it.
For dinner at Panda Express.
Yeah. 7. Yeah, right around between $60 and $90, probably.
Okay, not too bad.
Of course, you have the Walmart Gold UPC variant for Spider-Man #1.
I need that Maximum Carnage book, man. It is so good.
This one right here.
Yeah, it's such a neat book. That's actually back from Sega and Super Nintendo days when they had the video game. And these are very hard to come across. They sell for a premium. Look, the CGC98, $1,600, close to 17. Like that does not surprise me.
This is the one that came with the game, right? It came in the Sega case because was it Nintendo or Sega that this came with?
No, not to my knowledge. It didn't come with the game because it didn't fit. It's actually a comic book size. So,
okay.
But yeah, this comic was it's still not that it's difficult to come across, but you won't find those deals unless you really get lucky and find it in a long box. But
sure,
yeah.
And look at this. You had back in 2021, just a few years ago, near mint of this was selling for $20.
Crazy.
Wow.
Crazy.
Amazing.
All right. We have The Crow. Even though the new movie is getting terrible reviews, people still love it. So you're going to see that here. Let's go back up to the top and do one of the things that I love to do and look at only variants on the Shakers report. Boom, only variants. Okay,
so look at that Wonder Woman cover real quick, man. I'd love to see
J. Scott Campbell, World War II Wonder Woman, limited to 1,500.
And it's a top sale.
Top sale. CGC 10, Marty. Come on.
CGC 10. Load up. Here
we go.
So that's a gorgeous cover, man. Wow. Once again, J. Scott Campbell does not disappoint, man.
And this is one of his store exclusives. If you guys are sleeping on the store exclusive J. Scott Campbell, it's time to wake up and start adding things to your cart because he's got some gorgeous covers on his website.
Beautiful covers. Beautiful.
Yeah. Let's see here. We'll go back. Well, here's an interesting one. What is that? Natalie Sanders, Take Me Home, 2012, limited to 100.
Wow.
Little gem icon right here means that it's a very rare book. Variant cover. These are what the normal ones look like. But this one, raw near mint, sold for $621.
Gotta love some Natalie Sanders, man. She does some amazing work.
Yep.
Here's an interesting one that's always on the Shakers list. Tom McFarlane's Spawn #1. This is the newsstand variant.
This book always holds. Always holds.
Absolutely. Yep. Always on fire. Always holds. So this is cover price. It costs you around $6 a month if you buy it by the year. It is an invaluable service that lets you track your collection, record your sales, and help you make decisions on speculating in the comic book market. You can read great articles, which include the top 10 Shaker list, which are read on this channel on a weekly basis, Tuesdays and Thursdays, respectively. And also just get so much more. And then you can also track new releases. And you can track upcoming shows and the variants that are going to be exclusive to those upcoming shows.
Yep.
Sorry there, Chris. I forgot that I was like hosting and I just started watching you and listening. I'm like, oh, shit, I gotta say something here soon.
Cut me off. She hasn't cut me off yet. I gotta keep talking.
Oh my God. I'm sorry. I was just into it. I was listening to what you guys are saying. You have to remember, for the longest time I didn't host these things, so I just would listen to TiVo and Marty and JB just go off, and I would just be backstage just enjoying it. But anyway,
there you go.
That was it for us tonight, guys. Make sure that you tune in throughout the week. Like what Chris was saying, we have the weekly top 10 on Tuesdays. We have this show, and we have comics covered with the co-founders of Cover Price, Matt and John. So be sure to tune in for that tomorrow. Before we go, let's do a quick round circle. Let's start with Lando. Let's mix it up.
Well, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Those of you catching the replay, of course, comment below. Let us know what you thought about this week's Shakers list. And, you know, of course, the more you comment, you're going to help the algorithm. But please like, subscribe. And I can't stress it enough. Yes, Laura brought up some great points. The fact that there's the top 10, there's the weekly Shakers, this is the comics covered. But if you paid attention to Cover Price this week over on YouTube, they were dropping a lot of additional content, great informative content. You know, looking back at maybe Star Wars books and things like that, which was really cool, really neat to see. Lessons learned. Oh, I think we all learned some lessons collecting in the last couple of years. So that was actually really fun. So please definitely like, comment, subscribe, and I mean, feel free to subscribe to my channel too. But other than that, guys, I appreciate you all tuning in this week.
Wait, what's your channel? Just so they know what exactly.
It's just my name, Black Crown Comics.
Black Crown Comics on YouTube.
There you go.
Love it.
Yeah.
If you want to hear more of Lando's smooth vibes, smooth tones throughout the week.
Yeah. There you go.
I like it. I like it.
All right, Chris, you're up next.
Well, first, Laura, welcome back from London.
Hey.
Your hideaway, staying away from Fortnite because you're too scared of me. I understand.
You tell me the terms. Tell me when, where, and how we're going to gauge this, and I am there. Like,
Live stream.
Yeah,
but
so
how would we go against each other? Like, how would we gauge it?
We'll have to figure it out. It's got to be a way to do it. But I'm very glad to have you back. Last week we had JB. It was a pleasure to see him. And like you said at the beginning of the show, you know, he might be interested to fill in every now and then. So, Laura, can you bring up the graphic that I have there? So what do you guys think? Would it be pretty cool to see something like this imprinted? Can you get some thumbs up or me's in the chats? Because
I'm all thumbs up for that bad boy.
Yeah, I mean, look, I like it. We got to get it, all the little imperfections and everything, because it is AI generated. But
hey, it looks like he's like 60 though.
I don't know what's happening to me. I need to shave my beard. I need to age.
But this is as close as I can get. But
I like it, man.
Take it down. I'm just happy to play with you guys on this channel, and always happy to be here. So thank you so much. You guys can all reach me at Dr. Yo-Yo on Instagram, Twitter, Threads, MySpace, all those things.
All right. Last but definitely not least, Marty.
Thank you for that amazing, wonderful, and sweet outro, Lady Laura, by the way. And I just want to say ditto and ditto everything they said. It's just like ditto. Okay, no, but thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you for watching as always. We would really appreciate it if you could hit that thumbs up, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. We really appreciate you guys taking your time out of your day, out of your evening to come here and join us as we talk and read about comic books and share our opinions as well as our experiences. And we really, really enjoy being here and interacting with the chatsters as well. So as always, may the comic gods continue to bless your long boxes, and TiVo bless them and fill them with all goodies and variants and key issue comic books and grails and goldens and silvers and bronze and coppers and you name it. And Excelsior.
And video game books. Don't forget video game books.
And video game, of course. How could I forget?
And most importantly, we had a good time.
Yes, we did.
Aw, JB. All right, guys, do me one last favor. In the comments, let me know if you guys enjoy seeing us on screen after the book is read, just so that we can kind of interact more. If you guys are for it or not, we kind of experimented a little bit tonight. I personally dug it. I think Leia is the new star of this show. I don't even think we need Marty anymore. But
look at her.
Look at her. That I couldn't pick my nose while we were talking about comics anymore. So whatever.
Oh my God, she's so cute.
Squeeze. I'm going to squeeze you. I'm going to squeeze my baby.
Love it.
Have a good night, guys. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Love that dog.
Take care.
For the entire crew, this is Tebow saying keep digging in them long boxes. Peace out.